This week's Freak of the Week is Speaker of the House Mike Johnson. Now, I could have included many other GOP congresspeople as well, but in the spirit of keeping leaders accountable, Mr. Johnson takes the fall. He deserves this because, as Speaker of the House, he is largely responsible for the budget resolution put forth in the House last week that calls for nearly a $900 billion cut to Medicare and Medicaid, or more specifically, to the Energy and Commerce Committee, which oversees both programs. The GOP's goal is to drastically reduce funding in these programs so they can fund more tax cuts for the rich. They're looking to renew the tax cuts that happened under Trump's first term. You know, the big tax cut bill from 2017, that's something like 80% of the tax cuts went to the top 5% in big corporations. But this time, they're struggling to find programs to victimize that aren't vital safety nets, and also meets their goal of finding $880 billion of budget space over the next several years. They are absolute freaks because they are trying to cut $880 billion from Medicare and Medicaid, which are vital social safety net programs. We should be aggressively expanding Medicaid, not the opposite. There is a silver lining, though. Thankfully, Mr. Johnson is receiving pushback from the moderates in his party, who fear that cuts to Medicaid and Medicare would harm many of their constituents, which is absolutely true. Over 72 million Americans who are disabled or low income use and rely on Medicaid. So as of right now, Mr. Johnson doesn't have enough votes in the House to pass this bill along party lines. Right now, as we speak, Mr. Johnson is going full Karen mode on his colleagues, but instead of asking to speak to a manager, he's asking his colleagues to defund your grandma's health care, to defund health care for disabled children and adults, like little Johnny, who has developmental and intellectual disabilities, which coincidentally, in 2025, qualifies you to be Speaker of the House.